Hello everyone, and welcome back to Horror Talks with Tate with another spine-chilling episode. My name is Tate, and I'm your hoster of this podcast, and I'm so happy to be back again, as always, to tell you all about another horror movie. In this podcast, we plunge into the depth of intricate plots, delve into rich character development, thematic elements, explore director's cuts, and so much more within the horror genre. In this episode, we will be discovering the second installment of a sci-fi horror franchise, Alien. The movie is called Aliens, and it follows the events after Alien, with Ripley having nightmares and is rescued by a crew of LV-426. Let's head into spooky summaries and discuss the plot details for Aliens. The story picks up 57 years after the harrowing events of the first film, where Ellen Ripley, the sole survivor of the doomed spaceship Nostromo, is finally rescued and awakened by a prologue's status. As he ejects to a world that has moved on without her, Ripley is shocked to discover that LV-426, a desolate moon where her crew first encountered the deadly alien species, has since been colonized by humans. The once mysterious and enchanted Terran has now become home to a Thurvan colony, blissfully unaware of the nightmarish horrors that lurks beneath its surface, setting the stage for a new and even more terrifying confrontation. Now let's get to discrete directors and discover how was the movie created and how it is popular like the first one. The film was directed and written by James Cameron. Unlike the original Alien, which is permanently a horror film, Aliens leans heavily into the action genre. Cameron infused the film with intense, adrenaline-pumping sequences, including shootouts, explosions, and large-scale battles against the Xenomorph. Cameron's focuses on character development, particularly with Ellen Ripley. Ripley's journey from a traumatized survivor to a fierce protector is central to the film. Her maternal instincts are highlighted through her relationship with Newt, which contrasts with the alien queen's role as a mother. The actors and characters are Sigourney Weaver as Ripley, Michael Biehn as Corporal Dwayne Hicks, Paul Reiser as Carter Burke, Lance Henriksen as Bishop, and Bill Paxton as Private Hudson. The Xenomorphs return as a permanently antagonist with the addition of the Queen Alien, a larger and more formidable version of the alien species. Aliens shift from the claustrophobic horror of Alien to a more action-oriented sci-fi thriller, while retaining the tension and fear of the original. The actors' styles in Aliens reflect this change, with performances that are dynamic, intense, and emotionally charged. Here's a breakdown of the key actors' style. Number 1, Sigourney Weaver. In Aliens, Sigourney Weaver deepens her portrayal of Ellen Ripley, evolving from the survivor of the first film into a more complex and multidimensional character. Weaver's performance is both powerful and emotional, emphasizing Ripley's trauma from her previous encounter with the Xenomorphs, as well as her fierce protective instinct towards the character Newt. Weaver's balanced vulnerability with strength, delivering a performance that is intense, maternal, and heroic. This role earns her a Academy Award nomination, a rare recognition for a performance in a sci-fi action film. Number 2, Michael Biehn. Biehn plays Corporal Dwayne Hicks with a calm, professional demeanor, contrasting with some of the more gung-ho attitude of his fellow Marines. His performance is understated but solid, portraying Hicks as a competent and reliable soldier who becomes Ripley's ally. Biehn's style is nature and grounded, making Hicks a sympathetic and relatable character in the midst of the film's chaos. Number 3, Paul Reiser. Reiser portrays Carter Burke, a corporate representative with a slimy, duplicitous nature. His performance is smooth and charming on the surface, but with an underlying sense of menace and self-interest. Reiser's style is manipulative and calculated, making Burke one of the film's more detestable characters, driven by greed and willing to sacrifice others for his own gain. And number 4, Bill Paxton. Paxton's portrayal of Private Hudson is energetic, brash, and at times comedic. Until confident and cocky, Hudson's bravado gives way to panic and fear as the situation deteriorates, adding a layer of vulnerability to his characters. Paxton's performance is memorable for its intensity and quotable lines, balancing the film's tension with moments of humor and humanity. Aliens shifts from the horror-centric narrative of Alien to a more action-ordered structure while maintaining the suspense and tension of the original. The narrative structure follows a more complex, layered approach with a mix of character development, intense action sequences, and underlying themes of motherhood trauma and survival. Here's a breakdown. Introduction and context. The film opens with Ellen Ripley, the sole survivor of Nostromo from the first film, being found and awakened from status after 57 years. She discovered that in her absence, the planet where her crew first encountered the alien, LV-426, had been colonized. This re-established her character and introduced her trauma from the events of Alien. Inciting innocence. Communication with the colony of LV-426 is lost, prompting the Weyland-Yutani Corporation to send a team of Colonial Marines to investigate Ripley. Internally unwilling, is convinced to join as an advisor due to her experience with the alien species, setting up the stakes. The film introduces the Marines, showcasing their confidence and military prowess. Ripley's warning about the aliens are entirely dismissed, setting up a tension between her knowledge and the Marines' arrogance. The scene setting of Alien shifts from a solitary horror of aliens to a more action-packed, still yet intense environment. The film is set permanently on the colony planet LV-426 and features a more militarized yet equally claustrophobic and dangerous atmosphere. LV-426 is a barren, inhospitable moon with a hot, stormy atmosphere, much like it was depicted in Alien. The sky is dark, the landscape is rocky and desolate, and the constant wind and rain add to the oppressive mood. The planet feels remote and hostile, which heightens the tension as the characters are completely cut off from outside help. The music and sound design for Aliens are distinctive and differ from the original Alien film, reflecting the shifts from horror to action horror. Here's a breakdown, starting with music. Composure. James Horner composed the score for Aliens. He was brought in with a very tight deadline, which influenced the music intensity and pacing style. The score blends orchestral and electronic elements with a strong focus on military design and percussive rhymes to match the film's action set tone. The music is more aggressive and intense than the original Alien score. Now for sound design. The sound design was led by Don Sharp, with additional donation from other sound designers and the director James Cameron, who had specific ideas about the soundscape. Now for the key elements, starting with xenomorph sounds. The alien sounds in Aliens are more varied and aggressive compared to Alien. The hissing, screeching, and growling noises were designed to make the xenomorph feel more threatening in large numbers. Weapons and explosions. The sound of weapons, such as the pulse rifles and smart guns, was given a ahead-of-time edge, while still sounding grounded and powerful. The explosive sounds are impactful, contributing to the film's action-heavy tone. Atmospheric effects. The atmosphere of LV-426, the colony setting, is created using a mix of mechanical sounds, wind effects, and distant industrial noises, contributing to the bleak and hostile environment. Overall, James Horner's score and the sound design in Aliens work together to create a high-intensity, action-packed experience while still maintaining the eerie, suspenseful atmosphere that defines the Alien franchise. After the success of Alien, 20th Century Fox was interested in producing a sequel, but the project went through a period of uncertainty. The studio was hesitant about making a sequel, as they were unsure how to continue the story. It wasn't until 1983, when James Cameron, who was still relatively unknown, was hired to write the script, that the project gained momentum. Cameron's approach was more fast-paced and action-packed than Ridley Scott's original, but it retains the tension and horror that made Alien so effective. The script also introduces new elements to the franchise, such as the Alien Queen, a massive and terrifying new creature that adds another layer of threat. The production of Aliens was challenging, particularly due to the practical effects and the ambitious scale of the film. The film was shot at Pinewood Studio in England, with many of the original crew members from Alien returning, though there was internally tension between Cameron and the British crew, who were used to Ridley Scott's more reserved style of directing. The budget of the movie was $18.5 million. Aliens was released in the 18th of July, 1986, and was both a critical and commercial success. It was praised for its intense action sequences, strong performance, and effective blend of horror and science fiction. The film grossed over $180 million worldwide and solidified James Cameron's reputation as a major director in Hollywood. The ratings of the movie are the IMDb score of 8.4 out of 10 and a Rotten Tomatoes score of 94%. Let's talk about the awards. Academy Awards. 1 for Best Sound Editing, Best Visual Effects. Nominated for Best Actress, Sigourney Weaver. Best Art Direction, Said Decoration. Best Film Editing, Best Original Score, and Best Sounds. British Academy Film Awards. 1 Best Special Visual Effects. Nominated Best Makeup and Hair, Best Production Design, and Best Sound. Saturn Award. 1 Best Science Fiction Film, Best Actress Sigourney Weaver, Best Actor James Cameron, Best Supporting Actor, Bill Paxton. Best Supporting Actress, Janet Goldstein. And Best Performance by a Younger Actor, Carrie Hens. And Best Writer. And nominated for Best Special Effects. Hugo Awards. Only one for Best Dramatic Presentation. Aliens has been lauded as one of the greatest action and science fiction film of all times, and Sigourney Weaver's performance as Ellen Ripley is particularly celebrated. The film's success solidified its status as a classic and has influenced many following works in the genre. The honor for Aliens highlight its technical achievements, gripping narrative, and the iconic performance that had made it a lasting favorite among fans and critics alike. Aliens remains a beloved and iconic film, standing alongside the original Alien as a masterpiece of genre filmmaking. In Aliens, the film took the practical effects and prop works of the original Alien to the next level, incorporating more advanced techniques and an expanded use of props, weapons, and special effects. Here's a breakdown, starting with props. Number 1, Alien Queen Puppet. The Alien Queen was a massive, complex animatronic puppet, one of the largest and most worldly at the time. It requires multiple puppetries to operate and was a standout effects in the film. Number 2, Alien Eggs and Facehugger. Similar to the original film, the alien eggs and facehuggers were detailed practical props. The facehuggers have improved puppetry with a more articulated movement to make them seem more lifelike. Now for weapons. Number 1, M41A Pulse Rifle. The main weapon used by the Colonial Marines, an M41A pulse rifle, was designed to look original yet practical. It was created by combining parts of real firearm, including the Thompson submachine gun and the Remington 870 shotgun. Number 2, M56 Smart Gun. A heavy machine gun-styled weapon carried by some of the Marines, mounted on the Steadicam arm. It was based on a real MG42 machine gun, heavily modified to fit the original aesthetic. And number 3, flamethrower. Similar to the original film, the flamethrower was used by the Marines as a close-quarter weapon against the Xenomorphs. It was a practical prop capable of shooting real flames. Now for CGI and special effects. Aliens permanently relied on practical effects, but it did use some early CGI and compositing techniques. Number 1, motion control cameras. These were used to create dynamic shots of miniatures, such as the dropship flying sequences, which were then composited into live-action scenes. Number 2, optical effects. These were used to combine different elements into a single shot, such as the alien hive environment or the scenes involving the power loader. And number 3, matte paintings. Several scenes used matte paintings to extend the sets, especially for the atmospheric procedure facilities and the alien hive. The combination of these elements helped Aliens become a landmark in science fiction and action filmmaking, blending horror with intense action and creating a sequel that many considers equal to or even surpassing the original. In Aliens, the foreshadowing is used effectively to build tension and hints at the film's tension and dangerous events. Here are some notable examples. Number 1, Ripley's nightmare. Early in the film, Ripley suffers from nightmares about the Xenomorph and the chestburster. These nightmares foreshadow her traumatic experience with the aliens and hints at the danger that will soon redent her life. They also establish her ongoing fear and trauma, setting the emotional stakes for her return to LV-426. Number 2. The colony's silence. When the crew aboard the Sulaco learns that contact has been lost with the colony on LV-426, it foreshadows the grim reality that the consulates have likely encountered the Xenomorph. This sets up the tension as the Marines are set in to investigate. These examples of foreshadowing in Aliens help build suspense and prepare the audience for the intense and action-packed sequences that defines the film, while also deepening the thematic elements such as motherhood, corporate greed, and survival. Now, horror fans, let's get to the last segment of this podcast, Insane Insiders, and discover the Easter eggs, fun facts, and the audience reviews of the movie Aliens. Aliens is the action-packed sequel to Alien and is filled with its own set of Easter eggs and hidden details that fans have enjoyed uncovering. Here are some notable ones. Number 1, AP Ripley. In the opening scene, Ripley's escape pod is recovered and her file is briefly visible. It lists her full name as Ellen Lewis Ripley and gives her ranks as Lieutenant First Class. But there's a slight error. Her middle name in Tilly is listed as L. Later, Canyons confirms her middle name as Lewis, but this detail is often missed. Number 2, Headley's Hope. The colony on LV-426 is named Headley's Hope. This name can be seen in various places, including signage in the colony. It's a grim foreshadowing as the colony becomes a place of despair rather than hope after the Xenomorph infestation. Number 3, in-jokes on the dropship. The dropship used by the Colonial Marines is adored with graffiti including praise like Bug Stomper and We Endanger Species. These are reference to the Marines' reputation for exterminating hostile alien life forms. The We Endanger Species graffiti is an ironic twist on conservation slogans, giving the film's focus on fighting xenomorphs. And number 4, James Cameron's visual signature. Director James Cameron often includes a visual trademark in his films, a slow, bloated zoom-in shot. In Aliens, this is used when Ripley is in the power loader, facing off against the Queen. It's a subtle visual callback to his style, which is also seen in his other films like The Terminator and Avatar. Here are some fun facts about the movie Aliens. Number 1, Ripley's return. Sigourney Weaver replaced her role as Ellen Ripley, but she almost didn't return due to contract disputes. Eventually, her salary for Aliens was a then unheard of $1 million, which made her one of the highest paid actresses at the time. Number 2, power loader scene. The iconic power loader suit Ripley used to battle the Queen alien, it was not CGI. It was practical effects with a real full-size suit operated by a stuntman inside the machine, with Sigourney Weaver strapped in front. Number 3, Hudson's famous line. Bill Paxton's character, Hudson, delivers a memorable line, "Game over, man. Game over," which became an iconic quote. Paxton improvised the line, which added to Hudson's panicked and relatable personality. And number 4, Alien Queen design. The alien queen was a massive puppet, required multiple operators. It was designed by special effects artist Stan Winston, who later worked on other famous creatures, including the Terminator and the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park. Alien shifts the genre from horror to action while retaining the suspense and atmosphere of the original. Audience reviews generally reflects this shift and has been overwhelmingly positive. Here's a summary of common themes, starting with positive reviews. Number 1, action-packed sequel. Many fans appreciate how Aliens took the original's suspenseful atmosphere and added intense action sequences. The film is praised for its relentless pace, thrilling set pieces, and edge of your seat excitement. Number 2, Sigourney Weaver's performance. Sigourney Weaver's portrayal of Ellen Ripley is often highlighted as one of the best in the series. Her character is further developed, and her performance earned her an Academy Award nomination, a rarity for action science fiction films. Number 3, character development. Unlike the first film, Aliens invests more in character development, particularly with Ripley, the Marines, and the relationship between Ripley and Newt, which adds emotional depth to the story. And number 4, special effects and practical effects. The special effects, including the use of practical effects and animatronic, are frequently praised. The design and execution of the Xenomorphs, as well as the climatic battle with the Alien Queen, are standout moments for many viewers. Now for negative reviews. Number 1, less horror, more action. Some fans of the original Alien feels that the shift from a horror-centric film to an action movie diminished the suspense and terror that made the first film so unique. They may prefer the more subtle and creepy tone of the original. Number 2, pacing issues. While the action is generally praised, a few viewers feels that the pacing in the middle of the film slows down before picking up again in the final act. And number 3, over-the-top moments. The minority of viewers find some of the action scenes a little bit over the top, making the film feel less grounded compared to the first film. Aliens is widely regarded as one of the best sequels ever made and a classic in its own right. It took the franchise in a new direction that resonates with audience, making it a beloved film for both action and sci-fi fans. While some fans might prefer the horror roots of the original, Aliens is celebrated for its intense action, strong characters, and unforgettable moments. Before we wrap up today's episode, I'm going to tell you all about my thoughts and feelings and what do I like about Aliens. The movie is every bit as remarkable as the first one, if not more. From the very first scene, I was completely captivated. Every aspect of it exceeds my expectations, from the relentless, heart-pounding action sequences that kept me on the edge of my seat to the metacutional craft atmosphere that pulls you deeper into the world with every passing minute. The creatures, with their sinister designs and eerie presence, remains just as menacing and iconic as ever, perfectly preserving the terrifying essence that made the original so unforgettable. It's a masterful continuation that honors its predecessors while also pushing the boundaries of fear and suspense even further. Well, horror fans, this concludes today's episode. Thank you guys so much for supporting and listening to this episode, and I will be back in your head next time to talk about Alien 3, which is the third installment of the Alien franchise. Don't forget to follow, rate, and review this podcast to grow more horror fans like yourself. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and YouTube for any upcoming episodes and exciting news and much more. So go check them out if you want to see more. Would you ever want to fight the Xenomorphs? You're gonna have to think about that as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And always remember, horror fans, stay spooky.